then I can do DEI. I get a friend who's using this. Hold on. There's too many variables happening at one time. Wait a second. Yeah. I can't say that right.
That music was loud.
Huh? I can't hear you. The music was so loud.
I hope the neighbors don't call the cops. My God, that was loud.
God. So, but are you on your deck? You look like you're in some kind of like Vietnamese hut or something. What are you doing?
I'm on my deck.
Where are you? I didn't see the screens. I didn't know what the screens were. I thought it was some kind of, I don't know, like bamboo.
I'm on my deck.
Bamboo hut. I had no idea. Okay. So, PACB, Pennsylvania Association of Community Bankers.
Yes.
Shout out to our friend Kevin
Shivers.
Kevin Shivers, my longtime friend, all the way back in the day from PFEW.
Oh wow, that's a long time ago.
From NFIB, and Rich Carter, who had been in the banking industry for a while and decided to come on the other side of the force and have a lot more fun in association services. And of course, my illustrious co-founder, sister, and business partner, Angie Singer Keating. So you were gracious enough to let me drag you to Savannah, Georgia next week.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's the teaser? Like, first of all, what session are you doing? So there's the what of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing it? And if you were to say, okay, you're going to show up to my session hungover or whatever, what's the one takeaway that a hungover PACB participant should take from your session?
I'm hoping that what folks take away is that risk management around vendors is doable. Oftentimes when they first take a look at it, it seems kind of daunting when they're looking.
Why do you, and I appreciate the fact that you let me interrupt you. It's kind of like the Mike and Mike show, but you're the better Michelle. So why, when you talk to people, because you talk to many more people about it than I do, why are people freaked out or overwhelmed by third-party vendor risk management? What's the daunting part of it?
Well, I think many folks that have done vendor risk management are very familiar with how to do risk management when it comes to financial risk, evaluating financial risk of people they're going to do business with. I think that's been a long established process. There are many best practices out there.
You're talking about like if I want to get a loan and I go to First Commonwealth Bank and they're going to evaluate me to take out a loan. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, that's measuring risk of their customers. I'm talking about for community banks to measure risk of the vendors they're going to work with.
Okay.
So the people that are going to, put in your fire alarms, the people that are going to, that maintain your locks, and those kinds of hard physical assets. Mm-hmm. Or other types of vendors that they want to make sure they're financially sound. They're not going to go out of business.
Okay.
I think that's the part that there are processes, there are procedures. It's been long established how you do that. The challenge comes in when these same types of folks try to evaluate risk around IT.
Okay.
And so, or the IT component is kind of just a series of check boxes, and they're not really sure how you validate that. How do you validate what a vendor tells you is true? And so we're going to talk about that. I'm going to leave them with some really good checklists that are a foundation if they've not done anything around IT risk with their vendors. And if they do have a program in place, or they're trying to get one off the ground, this checklist is also going to hopefully either let them compare theirs to some best practices to see where they stack up, and they might walk away feeling really good.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might walk away saying, oh, here are a couple areas we could focus on. And so it's really meant to kind of take a little bit of the fear or the trepidation out of the whole vendor risk management process in the community banking sector.
So the what of the conversation is a 45 to 50-minute session on third-party vendor risk management from the perspective as an information security practitioner, you sharing with them the things that they shouldn't be overwhelmed or feel freaked out about when it comes to the IT component of being able to perform that level of risk assessment of that third party vendor.
Sure.
Okay, so
And it's called Who's Touching Your Stuff?
Somewhat risque. I kind of like that. And hey, that's always a great question to find out who's touching your stuff.
You're competing for eyeballs.
Right.
I haven't looked at the agenda. I don't know if I'm competing against anybody. I wanted to, throw something out there
Well, you most certainly have the best looking headshot in the catalog. I will tell you that. That is by far the best looking headshot.
Well, thank you.
So why do you think that more people, and let's talk specifically in community banks, why do you think more people in the community bank settings are not, and maybe they are, and maybe I'm misspeaking, but are not as actively involved with outsourcing third-party vendor risk management as perhaps in healthcare and in other sectors that we work in?
Well, I'm not convinced that they are not doing as much of it.
Okay.
I'm thinking more along the lines of, especially in community banking, they have to make every dollar count.
Sure.
We all do, but right. they really do. They're the backbone. They're the financial engines of their community. And so, they really have to be able to justify that expenditure to maybe look at a company like Reclamere to help them with their third-party risk management. Some of them may not even know that this is a service that's available, that companies like ours can help them evaluate risk, generate questionnaires for those clients that are maybe not, for those vendors that are not so sophisticated as to have SOC 2 or ISO reports. And so it's about building awareness, letting them know that, hey, we're here, we're a resource, we can help you with that. But it's also, Reclamere has always been about education. So it's about, look, if you're going to manage this internally to your organization, here are the things you need to be aware of. Here are the places that can really be a gotcha, where a vendor can cause a breach for you or cause a serious security incident that's going to put you in a bad light, cost you money, cause problems around, being able to get cyber liability coverage in the future, or if you are able to get coverage, it's going to be so expensive or be filled with so many exclusions as to be almost worthless. So that's kind of what we're trying to bring awareness to.
So one of the infamous lines that you often use is about Reclamere eats its own dog food when it comes to our security stack and how we assess ourselves and evaluate ourselves. So what are the things that you look for? What's important to you as the person in the business that is ultimately responsible for our outside vendors that want to do something? Maybe it's the people that supply our security system. Maybe it's the folks that we work with that help us get ready for SOC 2 type 1 attestation. Maybe it's whomever that has the ability to cause us some significant aggravation.
Well, number one, first and foremost, is I want independent validation. So it's not good enough for us to just send you a questionnaire and ask what you do around security. We want to see independent validation. And that means we want to see a SOC 2, or we want to see an ISO report. We want independent validation before we're going to do business with you. And that's what we provide to our clients. One of our account reps the other day asked for me to complete a vendor due diligence package for a new client. It was a simple checklist, very basic. And what I sent back to him was our SOC 2 report, our most recent NAID AAA certification audit through iSigma. I sent him way more than what this new client was asking for. I want them to, I want our clients to become educated in the process of bringing us on board, that this is what you should expect from every vendor you work with, not just Reclamere, and not just that we are financially strong with 23 years in business, strong cash flow, just looking at that we're going to be in business, but looking that we have the security protections in place to protect their data when it comes into our building, or it protects their data when we are working in their systems.
So obviously there's going to be a lot of really great content. You had mentioned that there were going to be some checklists that people will be able to get from you. I'm wondering, a lot of times people don't ask a lot of questions because they just don't feel comfortable in an audience, because they don't want to appear to be unknowing or dopey or whatever the case may be. Sometimes they'll come up to you afterwards, etc. But I guess what I'm wondering is, because obviously we're going down to Savannah next week. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, big month, right? Obviously, not only in our industry, but just overall the impact and awareness for the world as it pertains to cybersecurity. And I'm wondering if you would be willing, because I know that you're very willing, that if somebody came up to you and said, hey, listen, I've got some questions for you and I really don't understand X, or I don't really get the checklist or whatever, how willing would you be to spend, say, 30 minutes on the phone with them and kind of walk through with them what their questions may be, or some of the challenges they may have around strategy, et cetera?
Oh, I'm very willing to do that.
Okay.
By
the way, this is all live. So you heard it. She said she'd do it. So when we set up these 275 phone calls over the next 3 weeks, I don't get, oh, I'm so busy. I don't want to hear it. I'm just, this is live. Okay.
I'm never too busy to talk to clients or prospective clients. Never.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So what is the number one thing that you want to do in Savannah, Georgia? Have you thought about it?
I have, but I'll be honest. When I talked to my son about it over vacation, I had had a few too many adult beverages to remember what he told me. So anyway, he has been to Savannah because he's not that far away. He's in Fayetteville at Fort Bragg, or Fort whatever it is now, in the Army. And he loves Savannah. Okay. And he rattled off a bunch of places. Now, the one thing I do remember is he said something about there's a pirate place. There's a place that pirates came into the Savannah Harbor and did something. I don't know. But anyway, so I need to check with him and get a list of what are the things that, and even at 26 now, he still calls you Mr. Joe. So I need to know what are the things me and Mr. Joe should take our significant others to go and enjoy in Savannah.
Well, Karen did say that they have a like a haunted house tour
Oh, I've done that. I've done that.
Okay.
Yes, that
Okay.
you guys will love that.
That's like clowns for me. I'm a little sketchy, but depending upon how many adult beverage I in fact consume, that could be negotiated, right?
The cool thing about it is you're going to learn a ton about the city and the architecture, because you're basically walking. If it's the same one we went on, it's a walking tour, and they take you to different houses that are supposedly haunted and who the ghosts are that haunt them. But you get to learn so much about the history of the city, and that was the fun of it for me. So you guys, you definitely have to do that. And you and I, when we go places for work, we eat well. Like,
well,
eating
I
and
know
drinking is what we're going to do.
if I do nothing else, I want to find an authentic, off the beaten path restaurant for true Southern cooking. Specifically, I'm looking for fried chicken.
Well, you know who we're going to check in with? We're going to check in with Renee Keener.
Keener, that's right.
And Margaret Meyer, two of
Hey,
our
Renee.
friends
Hey,
in the shredding industry that live
Okay.
in that general vicinity. And also Ray Berry. I bet he's got some good suggestions for us.
Actually, I'm going to see Ray Berry on Monday or Tuesday of next week, because I'm going to South Carolina before I go to Georgia.
Yes, he gave us a good recommendation on a restaurant at Hilton Head. It's spectacular.
So, yeah, I will definitely do it. So, in wrapping up this wonderful preparatory DSOC for PACB in Savannah, Georgia, again, what is the one thing that you want people to walk away with out of your session on who's touching your stuff?
Well, it's kind of threefold. If you're really not doing a lot around IT as it relates to vendor management, get going. Second thing is it's manageable. You can do it. And third thing is that if you need help, we're here to help you. And there are resources that are available where we can help you get the same kind of confidence you have around financial stability of vendors. We can help you get that same confidence around cyber resiliency, cybersecurity with your vendors.
Cool. Well, I will rock it out, and I will talk with you later.
Just don't dance.
Never tell me I do anything. My wife hates it too.